Okay, good to see everybody. Had a chance to watch the game in detail with our coaches and go over it, and feel the same way about it this morning as we did last night. We're very happy about it. We're happy about the victory, and anytime you go into Heinz Field against the Steelers and get a win, especially in this rivalry, that's a great accomplishment, and we feel really good about that. We're going to take the pluses and the not pluses and go to work on those things and try to continue to improve and become a better football team in every single area. That's what we'll do, and then focus on the upcoming challenge, which is a division game at home, which becomes very important. So that's what we're looking at. We know our upcoming opponent, the Bengals, are very talented. We know we always play knockdown, drag-out games with them. We know their players, we know their character, and we're going to be preparing to play our best game because we're going to have to win the game. Okay, what do you have?
John, Jefferson out, I know it's next man up. Is that going to be an imposition on you guys since it's already out?
Well, it's not ideal, David. I mean, it's not what we were, we would have chosen. Tony Jefferson obviously is the heart and soul of us. He's a leader. He's a great player, and just a high energy player. He's a guy that flies around and makes plays. He's a communicator for us in the back end. So those are going to be challenging things. At the same time, these are things that happen in this game. You just have to deal with them, and the guy that has to deal with them the most is Tony. Tony's going to have the toughest road to travel, just emotionally and spiritually and all those kind of things. And he's going to have to, and he will. He'll be up for the challenge, no question about it. He'll come back stronger than ever. And we have the guys in place. We have depth there at safety. Those two young guys will do a heck of a job. I'm very confident in those guys, and we'll have to overcome it.
You decided who may assume his role in terms of wearing a tie?
We have not.
Is that something that obviously by the end will be discussed? Is that amongst the coaching staff, or is a leadership council included in that? How does that work?
That's coaching staff.
John, do you understand more of it? Has he gotten the required test?
Excuse me?
Has Jefferson gotten an MRI, and do you know more about this?
Yeah, they told me what it is. It's more than an ACL. I don't remember exactly what all. Specifically, I would probably say it wrong. So couldn't even say specifically. So I'm sure I'd mess that up. But I'm sure that'll be forthcoming.
John, you touched on him a little bit, but how have you seen Chuck Clark grow as a player? He filled in for Tony for a couple of games last year in that strong safety.
Yeah, Chuck and Deshaun will both be guys filling in there. They'll both be playing. We'll have to figure out where we want to play them, how we do the groups, how we do the packages, what they play, where they play. They've both been playing. Chuck's been playing a little more than Deshaun, but Deshaun's ready to play. There's no question about that. He's been chomping at the bit to play, and we have just the utmost confidence in both those two guys.
John, yesterday looked like Maurice Kennedy kind of got picked on a lot by the Steelers, but he played pretty well in that regard. But what did you see from him on the field? He
did. I think it's a great observation. Maurice really stepped up. He played well. He covered man, covered zone, made plays on the ball, made tackles. I thought he played very well. It's nice to see a guy step up when the opportunity comes, and he did it.
John, do you plan on having Josh Bynes stay at that Mike position, or is it more of kind of like an open competition going for it?
Right. Well, yeah, I think so. Josh is a Mike. He could. I'm sure. Linebacker can play different spots, but that's his spot. That's where he's played pretty much his whole career. So we'll leave him at the Mike spot. Now, of course, that changes with different groups a little bit and different coverages that we might call. You might see him in a spot that you might recognize more as a will spot or even an edge spot, but that would be his role for us. Yeah.
John, follow up on that. How do you think he played coming off the street and going right into a game?
Remarkably well. I mean, he had a number of tackles. He was in the right spot. He played hard. His coverage was solid. I'm sure he'll tell you there's a lot of things he wants to do better, but for coming off the, and it's a credit to him because he was in great shape. You do worry about guys in that situation, just being able to handle it physically, and he handled it great. He was during the game. We didn't even plan on playing him that many reps, but he felt so good during the game, he was able to do it.
John, did you tell during the practice week how ready he was and how quickly he was picking up the defense and stuff?
You could see that. And I tell you what, I'll say the same about L.J. Fort, too. He didn't play as much defense, but they both did a great job with that. They picked it up very well. Those guys know how to play the position, so they had to get the terminology. They had to understand how we organize the defense. But they knew what to do, within the calls.
John, when you watch it again on the Thomas hit, what do you see when you see that play?
I see Earl trying to pull off. I mean, there's no question about it when you watch the tape. He goes in there, and as he gets close, I mean, he's running to the ball, Mason's scrambling and going, and he's running to the ball, playing fast, and he tries to pull out. It's clear. So I respect him for that, and it's just an unfortunate, collision. I think he ticked his chin, and that's what happened. But he tried to get out of there. He didn't try to hit him. He felt bad about it, the result of it. He didn't want to see an injury for sure. None of us do, and it looks like Mason's okay. So we're glad to hear that. We prayed for him after the game. So that's how we feel about him and the situation. And those guys have a brotherhood. They really do. There's very few players in this league that don't feel that way. So after seeing it on tape, I think it's pretty clear. I think it's very clear, actually.
Do you still expect, though, I mean, the league, it can be sometimes, do you expect a reaction from them? Would it surprise you, I guess?
It would surprise me based on what's on the tape. In all honesty, it would. But I don't know what to expect, so probably not a real good predictor of that.
Past couple weeks, increase in sacks. When you're looking at them, is it just the pass rush? What the opposition's doing to Lamar? Does he have a little bit more?
Bar sacks?
Yeah, or is it? Did Lamar have maybe? Is he just waiting too long to maybe not escaping enough?
All the above. All the above. Yeah, I think our offensive line really is blocking well, but there are times when we get beat. You go against that front, you're going to get beat one-on-one every now and then. You just have to recognize that, and that's the best front we've played so far this year. They're very physical, and this game, is when it brings out the best in both teams, especially both fronts on both sides. I thought our offensive line played very well. I thought their defensive front played very well, and that's what we were dealing with, and that's just the way it went. Lamar, if you want to talk about Lamar, I think in many ways he won the game for us. A lot of guys did. A lot of guys made plays, and Lamar definitely did his part. So you'd have to say that he played very well. But Lamar's going to tell you that he needs to play a lot better, and there are so many things that he can learn from that game. I mean, he's playing his 9th or something game, 10th, I don't know. How many games has he played? 11, 12? Is it 15? Is that many? 12? Okay, he's in his 12th game. He's in his first season, and he's learning leaps and bounds every single week because you see new things all the time. And he'll be doing that, throughout his career, but I think now is when it's steepest, and he learns fast. So that's good for us.
Are teams still trying to force him to play like that small ball where they're not giving him the deep pass again?
Didn't see that as much in this game. They really loaded up the box pretty well to stop the run many times, especially toward the end of the game. They took shots with the safeties. I mean, the safety came out of the middle, and we were on the 1-yard line and made a great play on a crossing route. I think they mixed it up more than anybody did.
We obviously saw Marquise come back in the game toward the end yesterday. Should he be fine going forward?
He should be, yeah. Yeah, he should be. He should, nothing serious.
Is that the same thing, Bruce?
He's just dealing with the thing he's dealing with his foot. He's just got to keep working on that, and that's just part of the process.
When looking at the film, what can you do? Did you see anything where you were able to generate a little bit more pass rush? It seemed like, again, it started and then it seemed to fizzle out a little bit.
Well, I think that they were protecting. We gotta get to the quarterback. We want more sacks. We want more hits. We had a few. We heard him. We made him move around in there. Then they got out a couple times too, especially at the end. We were all disappointed with that late scramble for sure. And but they were protecting. They were chipping with the backs. They were keeping the tight ends in. We haven't seen anybody protect with that many people all year. A lot of play action. That was a big part of their plan. So. But we've got to find a way to get more sacks. We've got to find a way to get more pressure. We've got to find a way to get more turnovers. All those things are things that we really want to work hard at doing better at.
You gave Ferguson a pretty good look again yesterday in terms of playing time. Do you feel like he's making progress?
Yes, I think his role, based on what he did, will keep expanding. I think he had 21 snaps in the game. Expect him to have more the next week. He's doing a good job.
John, how did you notice Peanut was affected by Josh Bynes? Is he a little more comfortable when he can move around?
Yeah, Aaron, I think that's a good observation. I think he was. I think it helped him. It helped him not having quite as much on his plate, so to speak, as a young guy, and he played well. He had a little ankle turn in there too, and fought through it. Really tough. Just so many guys did that during the game. I mean, you mentioned Marquise. so many guys had things like that because it was such a physical game, and they kept coming. So I was really proud of those guys for that. And Patrick was one of those guys.
We have too, and we talked to Justin about this a little bit after the game, but was yesterday a day when you could sort of feel proud about all the work that you guys put into special teams throughout the year?
Yeah, we were happy with the kick return. You know, we felt like we were doing well on 5 out of 6 phases going into the game, and then we hit the one kickoff return that was set us up. Unfortunately, we didn't take advantage of that, but that was a lot of work paid off there. So, got to keep building. You know, I mean, every single week is a new challenge, but we got a lot of guys that are very committed to it. They believe in it. I think Chris Horton is doing a great job with the guys. You know, Randy Brown and T.J. Wiest also as coaches, but you know, CoCap over there, Levine's a great leader. Anthony Levine does a great job of kind of spearheading it. He's the big veteran there, along with the Wolfpack, and we got a couple of older veterans too that came back. So, you know, we expect to be really good, and we work hard at it. And it was a good game for us on special teams.
John, you saw that Jay Gruden got fired. When you see things like this, does it make you realize that it's a tough job that you have, and that any NFL coach has it? You just go when it is.
Well, it doesn't take things like this to realize it. I think I'm pretty much aware of that from experience. Isn't that true of most any job, though? I mean, how secure are you guys? I've just had conversations with you guys. Yeah, you know, it's a tough business you're in, right? So, yeah, a lot of respect for Jay Gruden, though. You know, I think he's a really good coach, and I don't know him real well, but what I do know, you know, just being around him, I think he's a really good guy to be around. Always enjoy being around him, and I'm sure he'll land right on his feet as a coach and do fine.
You're 2/3 through this 3-week AFC North journey. Do you think that this thing is going to go back and forth all season long, or there's a chance maybe for some teams to separate themselves the other way?
Talking about the AFC North?
Yeah, the division.
I think that depends on us. I think that depends 100% on us and what we do. Us plus us is what we're interested in. That's the equation that we're believing in, you know. So, you know, let's take care of our business, and business will be taken care of.
John, I don't want to get you in trouble, but are you pleased with replay? It seemed like the Devin Bush interception, the ball moved, and they didn't.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was great. I thought it was awesome. I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully we'll get explanations, I guess, and it won't clear it up probably, you know. So I think we're all scratching our heads a little bit on it, so we'll try to figure it out as we go.
I mean, 2 of those plays resulted in interceptions. I mean, does that take, when you look and somebody will say, oh, Lamar had 3 interceptions, you also have to say, well, maybe 2 of them, there's some gray area?
Yeah, well, I mean, those are huge plays, you know, and you know, in my opinion, the ball was clearly moving on the one interception. The other one was clearly pass interference. Those are huge plays. We had them in the Chiefs game as well. So, you know, all you can do is, you know, shrug your shoulders and hope for the best. And it's always been that way with officiating. It's technology, I guess, has made it a lot, you know, harder because of for a lot of reasons. I mean, it's just what we're dealing with right now, and we'll try to play as clean as we possibly can. You know, that's all we can do is play as clean as we can. Coach our guys to play clean, and hope that when the other team, you know, grabs us or interferes with us, that it gets called. You know, and it doesn't cost us the game. I mean, those 2 plays probably changed the face of the game dramatically. You know, and they went against us. So, but I think the main takeaway on that though really is the guys. You know, we're not complaining about it. You know, we're not happy about it, and it's frustrating, especially frustrating if you don't win the game. But for the fact that the guys overcame that, didn't let it bother them, didn't get crazy on the sideline like teams will, and guys have before, coaches included. You know, to step up and just find a way to get the job done and make the plays that need to be made and overcome that kind of adversity. That's what, as a coach, you feel great about with your team.
To that point, Lamar specifically, you know, how was his demeanor through this whole thing when calls are going against him, you know, interceptions, you're in Pittsburgh in that environment. What did you see from Lamar in handling all that?
That's a good observation, Ryan. I tell you, he does not think that way. You know, Lamar does not let outside distractions or outside circumstances get in his head. He's concerned with himself. He's concerned with how he's playing all the time. He's thinking 100% about the plays he could have made, should have made, thought he should have made, what the defense was, what the next play call is going to be. That's all he thinks about. At least that's all I see. That's all I hear him talking about. I think that's his focus. And to me, as a quarterback, that's a really good trait. And it's one of the reasons that makes him who he is.
Getting back to the calls, it's not sometimes specifically about what the call is or whatever. It's the flow of the game.
Yeah.
And I guess it's both sides. It's from the fans watching, and it's from you guys trying to call the game and trying to stay involved.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give my opinion at the end of the year about it. You guys know where I stood. You want me to go? We want to get back into all that right now? I mean, I think if we look back at, I could, okay, it looks like a pretty good idea from hindsight, the idea that we had. But right now, I don't care. Well, I just care about our team. I will say this: I trust the powers that be, in the sense that they want to do the right thing. They want to do what's right. They want to do the best thing. They want to be fair. It goes for the officials, for sure. It goes for Alberto in the office and Russell and all those guys up there. All the way up to the commissioner. They want a fair game. They want it to be. They want the right calls to get made, and that's really, in the end, that's all you can ask for. I mean, no one's trying not to make it right, so we'll trust them to do the best they can.
John, every time we ask players about Chuck Clark, they'll say he's one of the smartest defensive backs on the team. Was that something when you guys were scouting about Virginia Tech that you noticed, or is that something that's kind of materialized over the past?
No, that was in the reports, yeah, and you saw it on tape. He played really, really good and solid football. He knew what he was doing out there. He was a really good tackler. He was always in the right spots, and the scouts brought that information back, that's what he was like, and we do like drafting players like that. It's the kind of guys we like.
John, Lamar became, I think, tied to RG3 for the fastest to 1,000 yards rushing for a quarterback. Have you liked how much Lamar, especially in the flow of the games, how much he's running and kind of, not putting himself at risk as much throughout that?
Well, you feel like he's not. I mean, he's putting himself at risk. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think he's done a good job of that. I think he has done a good job of that. If you watch the game, he's really good at it. And he's also very dangerous with the ball in his hands, and his runs really factored in the game big time. They have for a few games this year, so it's one of our weapons, and we're not trying not to use our weapons.
All right.
All set, great, thanks.